33, Legal Regulation and Compliance. I am the professor, Dr. Jack Hyman. The course examines computer crimes, laws, and regulations from a federal, state, and local perspective. We really look into the legal statutes of healthcare, financial regulation. We also look at it from the criminal, gathering evidence, and communicating of results perspectives. There are a lot of laws in the United States. There's also a lot of international regulations that have come about in the past 10 years that different governments around the world have to comply with. For example, the EU, with GDPR, especially with information. We discussed that in this course. In previous semesters, and I'm not sure if many of you have reviewed other sections of this course, have heard online what the course typically covers. This was an assessments-based course. I've taken a lot of the assessment out. There will be 3 quizzes so you can understand, and I make sure you understand the information in the textbook. There will also be a midterm halfway through the semester and a final exam. I don't like tests. I'm sure many of you don't like them either. But the university mandates it. There's some things I can't control. There's some things I can. Those are one or two things I can't control. Sorry. The next thing that I like to do is have discussion forums. And these are open dialogues with research-oriented questions. There's one at the beginning of the semester, and there's one right in the middle towards the end of the semester. And these are thought-provoking questions, relevant questions that are about current topics, that apply the knowledge that you have using your ability from the lectures and your information about what's going on in the world today, and you can apply it to your responses. Now, you can't just write 1 or 2 sentences. You have to write 2 or 3 well-thought-out paragraphs. That's my expectation, 2 to 3 well-thought-out paragraphs. You may have to do some research on the internet. Every assignment that is a written assignment will likely require you to do citations. It is a mandatory requirement at the University of the Cumberlands to complete all work using APA format. Every one of my assignments has a grade associated with APA format. And in fact, one of your team assignments, which I'm going to talk to you about in a little bit, is actually called an annotated bibliography. But we'll talk about that in a second. I provide a wealth of knowledge on the annotated bibliography and how to complete APA format. There are plenty of tools on the internet in order to format things in APA format. But please cite what you write. Don't just copy and paste the information verbatim. Look at the information, analyze it, use your own words, and write it down. That's what graduate school is there for. To think, come up with thought-provoking ideas, and then discuss it. So the discussion forum has two components. Being that this is a 16-week course, for the 2 weeks that you have the discussion forum, the first week expectation is that first week you write your discussion forum commentary. There are 60 of you in this class. I expect to see 60 threads created the first week. The second week, at a minimum, I expect to see an additional 60 questions, comments, responses, keyword is minimum. In order to attain full credit for the assignment, you must respond to a minimum of one of your classmates' responses. Now, let's say you have 5 responses already on the discussion forums, and you want to respond to somebody immediately after you post yours. It's fine. At least you're fulfilling your assignment obligation. But you have to respond after you post yours. That is the assignment requirement. And again, you can't just write 1 or 2 sentences. You can't copy and paste. You can't just say, yes, I agree. It has to be thoughtful. It has to be substantive. And it has to be thought out. So that's this discussion forum requirement. The next requirement is the reflection paper. Now, the reflection paper, as I'm sure everyone knows, has become a staple in every class in the executive formatted courses within the University of Cumberlands. This class is no different. It's worth 4%. By the way, discussion forums, each forum is worth 2%. It's not significant, but it's getting you in the idea of responding and thinking in a thought-provoking manner and engaging you. The reflection paper is worth 4%. This is, again, not requiring you to cite other people's work, but you to express your own personal opinion. After your group projects are done, you are then going to express your opinion based on what you learned. So this comes after the residency. After your group has done all that hard work, there's going to be 2 pre-projects. Then you're going to come to the residency. You're going to work that 22-hour period. You're going to be exhausted from that weekend. And then you're going to come home. And then you're going to do the reflection paper. That's the key. You're going to do that reflection paper. 500 words. You're not going to copy and paste someone else's reflection paper. It's your own words. You don't have to work that hard on this. It's straightforward. The question is in the Unit 6 folder. I don't expect you to take another reflection paper from another course because the question is specific to 633. If I see commentary from, information risk management or physical security, I know you're going to get a 0 because the questions are specific to the group assignment that you did in 633. Easy 4%. Easy 4%. If you lose 4%, it jeopardizes you from going to a lower grade potentially. And a couple of students in previous semesters have actually done that and have dropped from an A to a B or even a B to a C because they just submitted a reflection paper from another class. Don't lose points just because of laziness. That's just my advice. So we've covered the reflection paper. We've covered the discussion forums. We've covered, there's 3 quizzes, a midterm, and a final. Now the group assignments. There are 4 components to the group assignment, and I call this the big dog. There are 60 students in this class. Each group, there's 12 groups. There are going to be 5 students to each group. The first component is completing a group questionnaire. I've assigned 5 students to each group. If you go in the group project folder, your name has been assigned to a group. Please contact your group members immediately. Immediately. On the left side of Blackboard, here's a folder called Groups. You can contact your group members through the group folder distribution. I'm sure you all know ways to contact your group members in the Cumberlands directory as well. That's number 1. Number 2, I have set my Calendly email, a website address, so that we can have 12 group Zoom conferences. I want to have 12 30-minute group conversations. We can have conversations over the web conferences. I know this is not something that's unheard of, but a lot of professors don't actually engage with their professors online. You never see the smiley face like this throughout the semester. I want to talk to you before the residency. I want to make sure you are on track before the residency. Because coming into the residency, you want to make sure your research projects are on track, because you're going to have 22 hours to put together that research paper and that presentation. You really should be done with your research papers pretty much before you get into that residency. So, questionnaire is the first thing. It's scouring the literature, trying to find those basic answers. So I built building blocks for you all. The questionnaire helps you get the answers to those building blocks. It's sniffing out the literature. You can find a lot of the answers for your research paper in that questionnaire. The second component really is the way you get all that literature collection for your research paper. Use the research paper questions to guide you to get those 12 sources. That's my advice. Why reinvent the wheel? Why reinvent the wheel? I don't know how many of you are going to be doing your PhDs at Cumberlands or another university, but that's what I did. When I did my PhD, when I did my master's degree, if there was an easy way I had to do something, I would figure out ways to get as much of the resources for the final project done by reverse engineering work. And that's what I'm trying to help you do. Because you have 3 components to this project. Reverse engineer. Look at if there's questions at the end. Look at those questions. Try to answer the questions by looking at all the steps in the project. So look at all those questions at the end. Look at all those questions in the beginning. See how they match. And if you can get, kill 2 birds with 1 stone by getting the annotated bibliography done and find those great, resources, complete the annotated bibliography by getting all those resources and start collecting them. And then you can write the little 150-word paragraphs. This source contains information on X. This is why it's a valuable resource, because of variable A, B, C. I'm just giving you very easy sentences. According to Dr. Jack Hyman, according to Jane, Bob, and Bill, this book talks about it's so easy to complete the annotated bibliography. And there are plenty of websites. If you find a source and you really don't know how to do APA, there are plenty of websites if you know the date the book was written or the article was written, the volume, the pages, the authors. You can plug this information in. It's a great way to learn how to do APA, and you can perfect it. You don't have to worry about making mistakes with the commas and the periods, but eventually you'll have to learn how to be a perfectionist. There's also the Owl Purdue website, there's the APA website, but there are websites to help you. Easy way to get to the perfect grade. First assignment, complete the questionnaire. Second assignment, do the annotated bibliography. There's specific due dates in the assignments, in the syllabus. The instructions are clearly articulated in the group presentation and project folder. The project folder also has the team assignment number 3 assignment, what has to be covered, and about how long each section in the paper should be. I estimate the paper should be about 8 pages. There are 5 members to each group. I suspect, make it a divide and conquer paper. The group should take each section and do 1 section apiece. And then the beginning and the end should be worked on together as a group. Going into the residency, each group member should essentially come together that Friday night and Saturday morning and just assemble the pieces, review it, edit it, design it, and then Saturday afternoon, you work on your presentation. That's the way it works. And that Saturday, let me just tell you, the way I'm looking at it is, Saturday, I'm going to be meeting with each of the groups, having appointments with each of the groups. And then, at the end of Saturday evening, we're going to be meeting about presentations to make sure everything's in line, so that Sunday at 8:15 in the morning, group 1's going up, and everybody's going to have 10 to 15 minutes to present. We're going to have to go quick, because presentations start at 8:15, we're going at 12. And we know that there's going to be a little time needed to complete things, and by the time things are done, yeah, folks, it'll be time to go. So, presentation weekend, dissertation weekend, whatever we want to call it, residency weekend, it's going to be jam-packed. But your 40% for that assignment really is a collection of a lot of things. But also, your midterm is due on residency weekend. That is your ticket to get in the door, because that is the halfway point. That is exactly the halfway point for the semester, because the university as a residency weekend requires you to have 60% of your grade in. I hope I've explained everything that's going to be required for that group project. But along the way, we will have 2 Zoom conferences. I am in this effort with you. So, look at my Calendly calendar, book an appointment ASAP. I have some days during the day, sometimes during the day, and I make it my duty, no, I said make it my duty to have convenient hours at night. A lot of my hours start at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and they go till 10:30 at night Eastern. After my kids are asleep, I have a 4.5-year-old. She'll be 5 in June. I have almost an 8-year-old. They're in bed by 8. We could talk till 10:30, 11. I'm here to accommodate your schedules. I gotta go to bed by 11. I'm an old man. But I'm here to accommodate your schedules. And I even have weekend hours too. That's how accommodating I'll be for you. Because we're in this together. So, hopefully, I've explained the semester. I'm willing to work out, office hours as needed. But I want this to be a great learning experience. And if there are any questions, I look forward to working with you for the rest of the semester. Thank you very much, and look forward to meeting you soon.